What's up, you guys? It's Rob here. Today we're going to be going over ticker symbol NIO. Recently, it has been struggling with getting up to $40 and seems to be floating back down to $37. But today NIO, to put it bluntly, got its teeth kicked in, and we revisited 34.56, which we've really not been down in this territory a lot recently. We visited once more. We had a quick rebound, and that's essentially what we did today. Was as soon as we got down to our low of 34.56, we just had a nice rebound. And I'm personally looking for the stock to retake its nearest resistance at 36.20 and claim it as support tomorrow. That's personally what I'm thinking. I do not see NIO really trending to the down direction because 34.56 is very low for a stock that is producing electric vehicles and is doing a phenomenal job of it. So personally, I don't see a bear case scenario, and I'm only going to highlight really the bull case in this. But before we dive into the technical analysis, if you guys can, do me a favor, drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, remember to ring that bell, and then also I do have my Webull referral link down below. So if you do want to join Webull, you do get 2 free stocks when you join Webull. One when your account's approved, and then the other when you deposit $100 on the platform. And those 2 free stocks can be valued anywhere between $10 and $1,600. So let's go ahead and hop on here into the chart and cover the daily. And I'll also cover the short interest because I was curious to see if NIO was actually shorted, and it is actually shorted. So I think that's an important thing to highlight. But really the huge thing is today, when we take a look at it, we opened here essentially at 37.02 and just sold off all the way down to the mid 35s and kind of had a downwards channel here in the day from this little peak here downwards. We essentially just created ourselves a nice channel. Come on pen. Oh, come on, Webull. Let me draw this trend line right here. It's essentially a downward channel, and I'm looking for 3 touch points. And you can see that we tried to break through this downward channel 3 times, but we just weren't able to. And we've really been holding this trend line, which I've drawn actually out on more of a macro perspective. But we actually held this downward trend, and then we had the breakdown. When we broke that trend line, we really hit our low here at 34.56, but we've really rebounded ever since, which is good because we draw another trend line here. We can see that as we went into the close of the day, we do have upward momentum, which is a good thing for the stock. And really, when we're down this low at 34.56 with NIO, it's only since really it first hit the market, it has only really been down at 34.56 recently, like once. So for it to be this low is actually a really good dip buying opportunity. So I hope you guys out there, if you're in NIO, you took the opportunity to buy the dip. Remember, this isn't financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor, but it is definitely a great dip buying opportunity, a great time to place maybe a long-term call or something like that, because NIO being down at 34.56 is really the lowest that's going to get in a while. But from the perspective of the MACD, we definitely had a very overextended move here in the morning. I mean, any time that you really sell off $2 essentially in the span of an hour, you're going to see an overextended MACD, unless if you're on a really high price stock. So, and really with this overextended MACD, that's just not a good sign for it. It shows that it was, I'm personally going to say, I think it was definitely shorted. I don't think it was a lot of people selling it because NIO really hasn't been able to be swung as like a day trade or like a swing trade kind of stock. So it would be hard for me to believe that this is all swing traders selling off and then essentially selling all the way down to this dip. But with the huge thing is here, we touched oversold very quickly, and we were pretty oversold for essentially the first hour of the day, and then we touched it here later in the day, and we touched overbought a couple of times. But really the huge thing I want to highlight is this move here with the MACD is not a very good move for the stock. It definitely is a very volatile move, which is going to drive implied volatility up. We did cool off later in the day, which is good. But when we had our rip essentially off of our, I want to call it the bottom of the barrel price of 34.56, it was a little bit of an overextended move, a little bit compared to this morning. It makes it look like nothing. So overall, what I'm really looking for is this trend line to continue into tomorrow. And this trend line would be best to be indicated on more of a macro perspective, but I'm really looking for the stock to continue in an upwards trend because it's pretty much at the bottom. I can't see it going any lower for some reason, for any reason. But the huge thing with tomorrow is, can we claim a support here at 36.20? That was definitely a point where in the past we have been fighting over, and it's not the strongest resistance. Unlike 38.13, this is a really strong resistance. So if we might be able to see a very large swing move at a NIO tomorrow, it would be great to see it, but I don't think we're going to see it. And the huge thing that we also need to take a look at too is the 120-day moving average is at 35.46. So we are in the after hours technically trading above it, but the whole entire trading day today, we were definitely below it. You can see the 30 MA here is pretty much, we're trading underneath of it. We did break above it, but on a macro perspective, don't really want to take a look at these two lines. It's more of a macro perspective we want to take a look at this at. But highlighting again the MACD down here, this move is definitely very overextended. We were very oversold. We got all the way down to 2. Like, no, not 2. 6.97. That is very, very, very oversold, which leads me to believe that that might have been like a short wave or something like that attacking the stock. But if we hop out here to the monthly time frame, I highlighted this channel a while ago, and I actually extended it out a little bit. This channel is really what we've been trading in for the past couple of days, and what we need to do is, we had a good attempt here on Monday of pushing this channel upwards and trying to break out of this channel to change this downward bull flag and turn it into have a breakout essentially, and break out and turn it into a bear flag and have an upward trend. So that's really what I'm looking at. But when we continue this and zoom out a little bit more, we can really see how far we are down here. So we can keep moving within this channel all the way down. And the lowest point right now on the channel that I have highlighted is 32.80. But I highly doubt that we're going to be seeing this. I think tomorrow is going to be a very bullish day because I think the fact that the stock is sitting this low, a lot of people are going to take the opportunity and buy the dip. So I highly anticipate that tomorrow it will be a very green day for NIO. If it is a very red day, it's going to be cause for concern because I do not see any reason why NIO honestly sold off this much today. It's a very heavy sell-off for the stock, and it's not normally a very... It's not a high beta stock. It's a tech and / growth stock. So maybe that might be the reason why it sold off a lot today, but I don't think that's the reason why. But taking a look here at the macro perspective, let's jump back here to the 1 month time frame. The RSI is sitting here at 38.40. The MACD definitely is underneath the equilibrium. It's a little bit overextended because our move was definitely volatile today. But the huge thing is it looks like it's going to try to actually cross over the signal here in the after hours, which is a good sign because that means it's a more of a bullish indicator. But right now we are sitting at a bearish indicator because the signal is above the MACD. So the other thing that I want to highlight is, if we can, I want to hop over here and highlight the short interest on NIO, because I didn't think NIO was actually a shorted stock, but apparently it is. And the current short interest of free float is 5.72%, which is, it's not a heavy short interest. But the thing that I noticed recently is that there has been upticks and within the short interest. Like on the 7th, we had 6.7% of our free float was short interest. And as of yesterday, it was 5.93. So there definitely is a lot of short interest out there. And the exchange reported short interest is 65.8%. million shares versus the previous period was 51.79. So it definitely, the short interest has definitely increased on NIO, so it might be part of the explanation of why it's been having such a rough time trying to get back up the $40. But the huge thing to also take a look at too is the amount of shares that are on loan is 56.33 million shares, and the free float on loan is currently only 4.24%. The estimated short interest or free float is around 5.93 right now. Today, our current short interest or free float is 5.72, and the utilization is around 17.21%. So really the fact that we have this high of a short interest within NIO is it makes me scratch my head and kind of makes me want to put the pieces together to understand maybe that this is the reason why we are struggling so much, because the amount of borrowed shares today was 105K, and there was 2.1 million of them returned, and the borrowed change is negative 2 million. So what this is telling me is that the shares, when all the shares were returned today, there was a lot of short interest outstanding, and there's currently still a good amount of short interest on the stock of 75.86 million that was currently reported today. So people are definitely shorting the stock, and I mean, I can definitely understand the reason why we had the movement that we did today. If we have that high of a short interest, I mean, look at this. Over the past 2 days, we've essentially gone from $39 to a low of $34 real quickly. So the shorts are definitely involved in this somehow, but I haven't found any news catalyst or anything like that that says why we took a $5 swing in 2 days. If anyone knows why, can you drop an article down below or DM me on Twitter? My Twitter is my channel name essentially, so you should be able to find me pretty quickly. But let me know, because I'm a shareholder in NIO, and I'm rather concerned that we have this high level of short interest, or we have this kind of short interest, and then we're making these kind of strong moves, because it doesn't really make sense. Normally with these kind of moves, we would have some form of news catalyst. So, but that's what I got for you guys today with NIO. Hopefully tomorrow we don't get our teeth kicked in again, and we can actually get back up and get back up to $37. I would really like to see the stock back above $37, because that's kind of where it seems to be a little bit at least comfortable at, is trading between $37 and $40. But when we take a look here at the month time frame, you can see that we were down at $34 for the matter of like 2.5-ish days. So we really haven't been down in this territory much in the past month. So I'm looking for a bounce tomorrow, because we're not oversold, but we are definitely on the bottom side of the RSI, and I think we could definitely make a very strong move to the upside. But that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you guys see you in the next one. Peace.